welcome to the Who What Where show. I'm Azz Mohammed.
I'm Stevie Nicks.
And this is an episode all about Mobos.
I am excited about this one, I'm not going to lie. I've been looking forward to this all week. We've got a special guest in the studio, an inspirational person, a Mobo nominated music artist. I can't big him up enough, Leroy Johnson.
Hey. Leroy,
hi guys.
Welcome to the Who What Where show.
Pleasure is all mine, by the way.
Thanks for
Pleasure's all
inviting me.
mine.
So Leroy, let's talk about you first of all. This is all about Mobos. Now, you have been nominated, but before we get to that, let's go right back to the beginning. How did it all start for you?
Oh, well, to be honest, it started in the womb.
He had to do it, didn't he?
Honestly, I'm telling you, because I heard stories of me doing extra kicking and activities in the womb to music, because my parents were devout Christians, Pentecostal Christians, so they lived their lives around music. The black church is about music. Yes, it's about the gospel and the word, but it's about music. And so therefore my journey started in church, in the womb.
So it started in the church for him?
Yeah.
So I take it your mother was there religiously going every week?
Let me tell you something. Every week, 2 services on a Sunday.
Wow.
Monday afternoon is fasting. Monday evening is prayer meeting. Tuesday is ladies meeting. Wednesday would have been midweek service. Thursday would have been adult choir practice.
And you had to go to all these?
Well, I was in the womb.
He had no choice.
Boom, boom. But actually,
You've done me there, haven't you? I love that.
No choice. But actually, when I was born and I was growing up, that was the regime. 4 or 5 days out of 7, I'd be in church. The other days, I'd be... Put it this way, it was school, home, church, school, home, church. I should write a song called School, Home, Church. That was it. And so therefore, what else was I going to do? The majority of the service was geared around music and a lively, expressive worship. That's what I was going to be, a musician.
Let's talk about when you were at a young age, you were in church then. I know it's early days, and did you enjoy going there, or was it like you had to go because you know how our parents are at times, like, get to church?
I know.
And it kind of grows on you after, doesn't it?
It does.
What was it like?
Well, I knew nothing else. Yes, it could have been construed as a sheltered life, but I enjoyed going to church. There was always a vibe. And looking back, because at the time I was looking it through the eyes of a child and the eyes of a youth. But looking back, it was like every week I got to play an instrument, and every week I got shuttled onto other things to play. I love playing the drums, But my elder peers would say, no, you're not playing drums today. You're going to learn the bass.
Right.
Play drums! No. Go learn it. Or sometimes you just have to sit down and watch. And that's a humbling thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, looking back, as I was saying, it's like a performance every week. You're on stage every week. You don't get that in, like, for example, the Church of England or Methodist. Not in them days. It was like an organist. That's all you got is an organist. But in the Pentecostal churches, you had a band, a full-blown band. So looking back now, that's my training ground.
So you're in your 20s now, so obviously you were with the group in Birmingham.
Yeah.
At that point there, what was the next stage? What happened next in your life?
Actually, there were 2 groups.
Right.
I did Crimson Flame with Ben, and I did another band called Revelation, which was a full-blown gospel unit with some great musicians down there. Steve Thompson, Carl McGregor, guitarist called Skip, Velveeta McGregor, who's now Velveeta Thompson, who married Steve Thompson, Paulette Wint, and I can't remember, there's so many other people. Anyway, they're going to kill me for not remembering them.
Always happens.
And then we travelled quite extensively. We even went to Europe, and we did lots and lots. And then that was another training camp for me. And then once that finished, I came back to Leeds, settled back into the church in Leeds. The story of my next level was a producer came to church, and he was looking for a gospel choir to play for, or sing for, a guy called John Pantry. Don't know if you know him.
Okay.
He's an old artist, one of the veterans. and he was releasing an album. So Chris Norton, who's now...
Did you know about this person before then when they came to approach?
I just knew that he was coming. There was a guy coming,
Okay.
a producer coming, so everybody was like on the P's and Q's, you know. And the choir was all fired up, rehearsed up to sing. But on the night, it was like a Simon Cowell thing. He came to me and says, no, I didn't really want the choir. There was a smaller vocal group that he was interested in that sang on the night. Yeah. And he also said to me, because I was playing guitar that night, and he says, oh, I quite like what you're doing. Would you like to come along to the recording session and put some guitar down? I thought, yes. It was like doing cartwheels inside. Yeah. Long story short, Chris and I built up a relationship because he was a producer for some of the main Christian record companies. Word, is it Ears and Eyes at the time, and another one or two companies. He's involved in publishing music as well. So he got me in, and one thing led to the other, and I played on the album, and he had other projects come in, and he taught me how to use the Atari. Do you remember? You don't know about the Atari.
The Atari and Spectrum
computer,
and Atari, yeah.
Computer.
Yeah, the Atari.
The one with the big
Is it the one with
the green?
No, it had a mouse, but the mouse was like, I can't even describe the mouse. But the computer itself, it was just like a green screen or something. It was just black and white kind of thing. It was one of the first computers, music-related computers that you could do music on. And I was trained on how to use Cubase and build up tracks and create music.
They had Cubase back then as well, did they? Because obviously now, a lot of people use that now to produce still.
I still use it. I've used nothing else. Wow. So Cubase helped me to produce. And with Chris teaching me, I wrote stuff, instrumental stuff, which he published to various places, and it came back with little pocket money of royalties here and there, and I was on a roll, I tell thee. I'm back in Sheffield, I tell thee.
I'm back. He's back.
You know what I'm saying?
Steel City.
So again, that helped me to produce and do my own stuff, and I started writing at about 17 anyway. Back to the first guitar that my sister bought me. I remember writing in the attic of where I lived at City Road. 177 City Road. Wow. Memories. So I'm still here, I'm writing today, still writing. I love writing.
After that then, you came back, you did your thing. Talk to us about when it really ticked off for you, like when it really got going. I know you started getting your money coming in here and there, but at what point did you think, I can do this full time now, this is me?
Well, working with Chris showed me that I could do it. A lot of what I wrote and co-wrote was being used as library music and was showing like some kind of return. Also, I'm still in church learning the trade. I took over the Leeds choir, the in-house choir, in 1995, the same year my dad passed away. And from there, I learned how to take control over a choir, do vocal arrangements, and that took me to another level. Meanwhile, I'm still working with Chris, and then I'm recording with different bands. I'm setting up and working people I'm working with. I did an instrumental album for myself, and I did a couple actually. Come to think of it, Christmas one, and another one. It's all coming back to me now. I've done more than I thought.
You didn't release some of these?
They've all been released.
Oh, they have
all been released.
Yeah.
Wow. Where do you release them? On what platform do you release them on? Or is it iTunes or Spotify?
Well, I did on Spotify.
At the time, there was no iTunes.
Really? Yeah. Right, okay.
Back in the day, there was no iTunes, there was no Facebook and all this social media stuff, so it was out in the shops. Right. And at that
Christian
time,
shops,
they were in Christian shops mainly. Because Chris was also a publisher, he knew who to talk to get the stuff out there in the marketplace. And plus, churches had record shops in the churches too, and I think one or two still do that too. And so I played. There was a panpipe series, there was a worship series that I did. Oh, there's a lot. I'll have to get it to you. I have to find it somehow. But a lot of it is not, obviously not on the market now. It's all sold out.
How did it all come around when you got nominated for a Mobo award then? What was that like in the first place, and how did that happen?
Well, up to this day, there's a little voice in my head saying, "Did I?"
Wow.
Honestly, I can't imagine.
Did you just get a phone call? Or
no, I was talking to an old friend of mine from Huddersfield. who was working with the committee of the Mobos.
What is the Mobos? Just in case people at home don't know what the Mobo Award is.
I tell you what, before he actually goes into it, for you guys at home, the Mobos actually happened this time around. We got to go to, we enjoyed it.
We were very lucky to go to this, by the
I
way,
think.
an amazing event.
Take a look at this. This is a quick little highlight of it.
Coming to you from the Leeds First Direct Arena, this is the 2017 Mobo Awards. Please welcome your hosts for the evening, Maya Jama and Marvin Hughes.
Your man talk shit, nobody asks you cuss. Hey, ask this, don't even talk too much. Don't even talk too much. Don't even talk too much. Hey, no, don't even talk too much. Don't even talk too much. Don't even talk too much. Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't even talk too much.
Please give it up for the fantastic, the phenomenal Idris Elba OBE. Please stand up and give him a warm welcome.
I truly don't think that I deserve to be on the same stage as some of the artists that we've had here tonight. In fact, all of the artists here tonight. Thank you, Mobos. Thank you, everyone. Respect.
And the winner is... He's doing it. Give it up for Stormzy! I'm proud of you, bro. Come on up here, Stormzy. Come on up here, baby.
It's so mad because best album, this one means so much to me. What I put honestly from the bottom of my heart, I put my life into this album, I put my soul, I bared everything for this album. And Gang Signs of Prayer, best album, 2017, man.
So guys, that is it. Can you believe this is the final bit of the night?
Sad, man.
I'm sad.
Had a good time. It's been
I've had
wicked.
an absolutely amazing time. So it's a long way from New York's Bronx to this stage, but we couldn't be more delighted that our next music act has flown in tonight. It's Cardi B.
Yes.
Mwah.
That little bit you get with me if you wanted to. These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes. Hit the store, I can get them both. I don't wanna choose, and I'm quick. Cut your man's off, so don't get comfortable. Look.
We've been speaking to Coco and Smiley and all them in the grime scene, yeah? What do you think to them on the scene? Did they go far or what?
There's a lot of talent coming through. There's a lot of good things going on. It's very
Would you ever work with them?
Yeah, listen, I'm open to getting in the studio with other creatives all day. Yeah.
And what final question, when you were growing up, who did you look up to? In terms of music?
Music. My mum used to listen to Stevie Wonder.
Anytime I can come to Sheffield and hold it down, I always do. I come and see him and his cousin.
Yeah.
And James Hill is a guy that I met on Celebrity Big Brother. And he is actually, him and another two guys are the only guys I still talk to. And I consider James my friend and a brother. I love him.
The fact that grime's coming through in this country. Do you think it's going to smash it in America too? Do you think it's the next big music over there?
You know what it is? Time will tell.
Yeah?
Time will
What's
tell.
your personal opinions on that?
Well, I like it. I mean, I like it. I like some of the guys. Now, I'll be honest with you, because I'm from America, I don't know it as well as everybody else. But there are records that I play in my set. You know, of course, Addison Lee, Man's Not Hot, stuff like that. But
the man next to you there. Man's not hot, yeah? He plays you a song at home. He plays you a song at home, I tell you. He said, that's my song. That's what I'm talking about. Exclusively live on Who What Where.
Yeah. We get into it. So, I just want to see what's going to happen next.
Do you know what I liked about that one? I liked interviewing Fatman Scoop because he really loved Sheffield, and the one thing about him, James Hill, who was on Celebrity Big Brother, who's from Sheffield, well, Chesterfield, but lives here, but him, and he really still sees him as a friend, and he was really inspirational about music, but also really knowledgeable about different things. When he said about the grime era, and he said that it might not last, it might last. He doesn't know, because he doesn't know enough about it. But a lot of stuff that he said made sense, which I did really like about him.
It was quite interesting as well with the Bugzy Malone. What Bugzy said. It was like, he's open.
Coco, in my eyes, is one of our best artists that we've got in this city, in Sheffield.
In the grime scene.
In the grime scene, but you know what? He could go across the commercial. A lot of people have gone across the commercial, so why couldn't Coco do it as well? It is a great music, I think, from that point of view. And he's doing it for Sheffield and he's flying our flag.
Let's talk to you about when you're there then. What was the moment like for you when you're there and you come out and everyone's asking you questions? How does it feel to be here?
The nomination, it's almost like getting the award.
It's a big thing, isn't it?
It's a big thing.
Yeah,
I can't even say it's a big thing. It's a big thing. It's a big thing.
It really is.
It really is. And I don't realise this until I'm meeting people and they're saying, well, why are you not blowing your trumpet? You're being nominated for one of the biggest awards. That also led to me getting another nomination from the Urban Music Awards.
Did you?
Yeah,
I didn't even know.
Off the back of that.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I went to that ceremony too, and that was a red carpet thing. And over here, Leroy.
What were you nominated? What was the name of your title of nomination?
Best Gospel Act.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Best.
In the whole country.
In the whole country.
Have that.
Wow, absolutely amazing. So let's hear actually.
You might as well plug your own song. You've got a song out, haven't you? So just tell us what it's about.
Well, the background of the story is I usually eat food and I watch telly because it's a comfort thing for me. I don't know what it is, but anyway. And most times when I'm eating, those adverts, charity adverts come with starving kids, ribs out a door, and you know the ones.
Yeah, of course.
They're terrible.
Yeah. You can't miss them.
You can't miss them. And to my shame, eventually I end up turning over the TV because, those images and food don't go together. Yeah. But eventually, my conscience, I guess, had got the better of me. I thought to myself, wow, I really had to do some deep soul searching and think, well, they're over there. What can I do? Can I do anything? Can I reach them? And I'm over here. I've got it all made. I've got my food. I've got a house. I've got a car. I've got everything. What can I do? So I penned a song. I just wrote a song called Save the Children. And I'm using some of the proceeds to give it to the charity Save the Children.
How's it doing? Is it out at the moment?
It's out. It's out on iTunes and
How's it doing at the moment? How's it going?
I haven't got a report yet, but I think I sell more on the road because I do Germany quite a lot with another band I play with out there. So I sell quite a few out there.
As you say, you want to do more of the video side and stuff and get it going now, get more into that social kind of platform.
That's right. And if you're not backed by a record company or some kind of sponsorship...
Have you signed to a label or anything? Have you got anything behind you?
I am my label.
Is that how you want to stay,
Have you got your own label?
Yeah. Wow. Actually, you just want to stay with it.
I don't mind if somebody comes along and flash some cash.
Yeah.
We'll talk. You know what I'm saying? So some of the proceeds go to Save the Children. There's an event coming up next year. I work a lot with kids. I love kids at my heart. That's why those adverts and those images really pierce my heart. So I'm working with some schools in Harrogate, where I will be early next year, and we're going to put on a big event at St George's Hall in Harrogate. And should be about maybe 200 or so kids.
Wow.
Forming a big choir. And each school, I think there's about 6 schools, each school will perform, and they will come together as a big finale and sing Save the Children. Yeah.
You've got a guitar there.
I do.
I can just see it,
Just popped up out of nowhere.
It just kind of turned up. Thank
Here's
you.
the one I made earlier.
Our team was
Remember
Thanks for that, Greg. Thank you.
Remember Play School? You don't remember Play School and all that thing. Here's one I made earlier.
On TV, on the children's BBC thing?
Yeah.
Of course I do.
Okay.
Of course I do. That was one of my favourite programmes.
He lived in a room with no windows, with no
yeah, I know, right?
So I'm looking forward to this. So
He's going to play.
We're just going to play.
I'll give you a taste.
You don't have to cue it.
We've got a live performance coming up here.
Wow.
Sometimes it's hard for me to look and see sickness and poverty and cruelty. Our very answers are in these words. Save the children, save the world. You hold your baby in your arms. It's your turn to keep them safe from harm. Troubles don't respect an age, and life's a challenge every day. Sometimes it's hard for me to look and see sickness and poverty and cruelty. Our very answers are in these words. Save the children, save the world.
That was amazing.
Wow.
Sorry about the mistake.
Wow. Listen.
I didn't even see no mistake there. What was the mistake?
That was just quality.
Thank you.
It makes you want to like close your eyes and just literally just. But there's a meaning behind it, and that's the thing. You know, the words. You know, speak out.
There's many people out there starving. They've got nothing. You know.
My second heartstring puller is the homeless. I wrote a song for them too, but I can't remember the words. But yeah,
that's not out yet. That one is.
It's not out yet, but it basically says it could have been me.
But it can be anyone.
It can be anyone.
A couple of things need to go wrong in your life, and
you're out
anybody,
there.
and that's it. That's all you need. It can be any person. Can be homeless.
And what brought it home to me as well was when I was working with the homeless in Leeds. I did they had like a, what do you call it, soup kitchen, and myself and my wife were working with the homeless for a fair few weeks, and you just can't help. If you don't feel anything, you haven't got a heart. And so every time I walk in town now, I'm mindful of these guys on the street who are out there, on the whole, not because of choice, but because of life circumstances, and it could have been me.
So yeah, Save the Children, Leroy Johnson. You know, it's beautiful. It's absolutely touching, isn't it?
It is. So. Download it. Do what you need to do.
Buy it. Download whatever you got.
We all can make a difference. All of us. We can.
Yeah.
Just by downloading the song. How about this for a challenge then? We do a track with you, and you make our track a hit single.
Word.
Should we do it? No, seriously, I'm not joking. Let's do it. Listen, let's follow this. This is a journey. This is an absolute journey. Yeah. What we'll do on the show, we'll go to his studio in Leeds. Yeah. We'll put a track down. We'll do it together, all three of us.
Yeah.
And we'll release the track.
And if he can get me to sing, believe me, my singing.
Watch your space. Watch your space. You guys are going to be like the ambassadors for the school.
Right. Okay. We'll do it. No, seriously, let's do it. We'll definitely do it. Yeah, let's do it.
You've heard it here first. Check it out. It's coming soon.
Yeah.
Whoa. So, like I said, what an event itself. Here in the studio as well with Leroy. Wow, what a show.
Amazing.
What a show.
It's been a pleasure.
Brilliant. So what we got next week, Az?
Well, on next week's episode, we have Q. Join us next week and you'll find out. Good night.
Good night.